So the question I received is, what do I think of drugs for mental health? And it's a question that goes deeper than just the drugs for mental health. It goes into lifestyle. I've worked as a psychotherapist in the mental health profession for many years. I see that we do need to get chemical substance to help rebalance us in periods. But the pharmaceutical companies also say that the drugs only do 40% of the work. Psychotherapy is 60% of the work. It's going back into your thought system and really managing or correcting your thinking. Now, correcting your thinking is something I'm also sharing through A Course of Love, in the book A Course of Love, on some videos that I'm making for the Patreon group, Being Peaceful group, that I will post below this video. The idea of needing man-made chemical to rebalance your own biochemistry occurs because of the man-made chemicals that you're ingesting in your foods, in your processed foods. And it's also that we are not getting engaged in nature enough. I have found that the best medicine for depression is walking in nature. It's just connecting with the trees, with the birds, with the fresh air, with the rivers and the lakes. That's the best remedy for depression and anxiety. Allow your mind to be cleansed of all the crazy thoughts. Now, I also want to address getting medication for what is called ADD and ADHD. Another area that I worked in is with preschools. I have a special class, a developmental class that I did for preschool children, 18 months up to 6 years. And I had seen more and more children coming in with diagnoses. I also participated in a seminar where psychiatrists and researchers were really analyzing what is ADD and ADHD. And there's basically two camps. One camp believes it's a real diagnosis. The other camp really believes that it's the adults that don't understand how to cope with these new children, these children that are coming in, that can also be called indigo, crystal, and the rainbow children, which are souls from higher dimensions that are entering into our earth plane in order to help us through this transition that is occurring at this time. Transitioning from an old matrix tyranny, suppression, into liberated experience of this earth, which is heaven, and humans that have so much more potential than they're using. When we already know that we only use 10% of the brain. So that other 90% is what has been suppressed by the programming of these systems. The programming that starts in school that says you have to become something. It's similar to the first lie that Eve received as she was told that from the serpent that she could be as wise as God. She could be as God if she ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Well, she was already created in God's image as God. So that question or that proposal was such a lie and so distracted and distorted, and she fell for that magic, thinking, oh, I need to become like God. I need to become something. Like the schools tell us, we have to become something. Guess what? You are something. You are somebody. You have natural talents and interests to develop talents that is exactly what the world needs. Maybe not what the system needs, the tyrannical slave system that makes you a slave to finances, makes you a slave to mortgage companies. You already have the talent. We don't need the systems that are now falling apart. We need the truth. We need to know who we are. And that is going back to listening to your heart's desire from when you were 4 or 5 years old. But even now, you know what interests you. You know what gives you joy. And that's who you are. And that's what the world needs. And being preoccupied with these distractive thoughts of needing things in order to survive and thrive are the same distractions that Eve was given when she was offered to become what she already was. And we are all the children of that potential to be distracted. But we are also the children of the potential to continue to know who we are and to affirm who we are. And for this reason, I am cutting off distractions. And as I am learning to really cut them off by saying no, I'm just simply deciding to shut off all the social media, all the media, all the electronics that would bring in distractions. And this is my gift to myself. This is my gift as I birth into another year, another rotation around the sun, to really come into being who I am. So, getting back to the question of the medications, they're just chemicals that do distort who we are. But those chemicals started from our food. You know, the very best is to grow your own organic vegetables and eat that. Now, one of the worst is to eat meats, industrial meats. They're full of the fear hormones that these animals experience their entire life. So if you're going to eat meat, it's best to catch a wild animal who is living in Mother Nature, in its truth, in its joy, in its true beingness. And suddenly that arrow hits it, or that bullet hits it, and from its joy, the spirit leaves and the flesh is left for your meat. Yet, if you can live by the do no harm principle, really living out of your heart, appreciating all that nature offers you the berries, the plants, the fruits, and if a deer offers itself to you and you are a meat eater, then just be grateful. Be grateful and receive, and give as you receive. It's in the giving that you truly receive. Give to yourself and give to others. And that's what I'm doing now. Giving to myself the connection with nature, the quietness, connecting with books instead of the media. And I appreciate you accepting that. So go forth in this day with blessings.